Oh, hey, it's me, Staria. You know, I've been sitting on the Roblox homepage all day, and I've been struggling to pick out a game for me to play. A lot of the games here are just oversaturated brain rot slop, and frankly, I'm not in the mood to overstimulate my brain, especially with how last time when I took 17 Benadryls. Oh, I got it! I'll just call up my buddy Zagnar and ask him to pick out a game for me. Hey Zagnar, do you have any Roblox games you'd recommend for me to try?
Yeah, I got you.
What the fuck?
Prepare to taste my fury!
Zagnar, what the fuck is this?
Oh, get sniped! Get sniped! Okay, that didn't really work out, bruh. But how about we take a dive at some of these games with...
Inspired by Nullscape, Grace, Hello John Doe, Pizza Tower, and like very heavy inspiration by Bo's Difficult Challenge. I mean, look at them. Bo's Difficult Challenge looks like the older, so retro version of Dive. This game's a coked up powerhouse of a Roblox runner. Developed by Aloptimov, Dive is a procedurally generated roguelike platformer where for every stage you complete, you must pick out one curse to make your game more difficult. You can make stages foggy, change day into night, which makes it so that all enemy audio cues are much quieter, and that's just two of the environmental curses alone. You have player curses, enemy curses, conditional curses, and alongside picking curses, you must select out an enemy to try and stop you in your tracks. Enemies such as Draco Worm, Angel, Blizzard, Imitation, Mine, Saturn, Pi.exe, and Ron are all unique in their own way, which makes your game harder the more you collect them. Like how it gets harder to stomach playing Deepwoken. Can write that one off of today's quota. Alongside the enemies and curses, you can also purchase upgrades that can also stack, making it so that the more you play, the more intense and chaotic this clusterfuck of a Roblox game becomes. Though I highly suggest that you actually play in a private server before you play in a public one, mainly because my first experience playing in a public server was like this. No! Stop! And don't even get me started on the altars. You have the Jackpot altar and the Chaos altar. The Jackpot altar is always a gamble, where you can either get good rewards such as the removal of objects, 2 times the coins and an increased timer, but the downside, you can receive twice the number of enemies you currently have, make obstacles larger, and decrease the timer, which will spawn Tick. Think of Tick as the pizza face from Pizza Tower. The Chaos Altar, on the other hand, the game amps up the actual risk of the game by adding 6 more enemies with an 8,000 coin reward at the end if you survive, but also gets way riskier if you happen to have the riskier altar's curse enabled. So in other words, the Jackpot Altar is like betting 17 on black and hoping you win, and the Chaos Altar is like walking into an active military base. You also get 3 classes. The starter class, Diver, a standard class that focuses on basic platforming and pairing attacks with your dive special to keep up momentum. Wizard, who specializes in air control and vertical mobility when their mana meter is full, but can also stun enemies with half the mana they have available. And Arbiter, specializing in clearing large paths at fast speeds. This thing is a brutal powerhouse. I've genuinely had so much insane pathway skips with Arbiter alone. These 3 classes alone are enough to bring a fresh coat of paint to each level of intensity, not to mention full customizability of the player's design to make it feel personal to the player. There may have been some stuff I haven't discussed, but to put it simply, this game is fast, it's fun, and I'm sure if you're a fan of platformers, I am 100% sure you'll love this. Go check it out. Zagnar, that game was interesting and all, but I'm looking for like actual Roblox games for me to try out.
Oh, really? Damn, alright, I got this, neat little horror game you can try.
Jesus Christ! Monster Employer is something I simply can't in good conscience not discuss and share with you. I found this game when scrolling Twitter and it just showed up because some dude was quote tweeting about it. At first, from the trailer alone, you wouldn't have assumed that this was remotely related to Roblox at all. Hell, when I first watched it, I genuinely thought this was just another random $20 horror game that you could find on itch or Steam. But no, this is Roblox! Gonna be honest, I thought this was Indied for a second for how horrific it looked, but looks can be deceiving. Developed by Moeller Studios, Monster Employer follows the player as you try to interview random monsters who are looking for jobs after a great recession, trying to see if they're fit for a specific job your manager is looking for that day. Some days you'll need to look for gross monsters, other days you'll need to look for talkative monsters, and so on. You'll be paid for each monster that was actually a good hire, but lose money for each time you hire a monster who wasn't fit for getting a job. Try to see if they're fit for a job by asking them questions like their name, what their occupation is, and what they're looking for. It's all a matter of being able to properly read people, and over time, the more repeating monsters you see, the easier it will be to choose whether they're a good hire for that day's quota or not. These distinct characters allow it to become more of a game of memorization. Every once in a while, you'll be judged by your boss to see if you're doing a good job with your work. And every 10 days, you'll need to fight off a boss monster via minigames in a sort of WarioWare-like fashion being played on your computer. For every time you succeed in a minigame done on the computer, you'll be able to shoot out of your cannon to keep the bosses at bay from reaching you. Not to mention, the game's small little references to FNAF 6, Slenderman, and even Sonic EXE are really charming to see, as you can see a lot of the inspiration that comes from this game. Forcing you to sit in a dark room as you interview monsters can really immerse you into the experience, especially when playing at night. It gives the equivalent experience as sitting in the shower while eating fruit to know what a lonely monkey feels like in the middle of a rainforest. For the end of every work week, you're given the chance to finally use your money to decorate your empty apartment. Strange there isn't an option for the pinnacle of all male apartments, but alright I guess. This game has a lot of lore to it that I purposely have left out of this discussion because I fully believe that you really need to experience this game for yourself, as it is such a joy to play and I had so much fun giving it a shot. Like, you just really need to actually play it, trust me. This game's creepy, it's fun, the characters have such unique designs and dialogue, and there's just so much more that you need to see for yourself. The newest update just recently came out, now with mobile support, so if given the opportunity, I suggest you guys give it a try. Well, okay, that was a total bust. Turns out insulting your clients isn't creating a safe and friendly work environment. I wonder who my next client is. Oh my god, you're f***ing ugly. You look like a deformed Jumbo Josh. Jesus Christ.
I wonder if Elon's Emermine is hiring.
I'm sorry, what the Voidful is an endless expedition game where you must explore this dark abyss, and throughout your travels, you'll be collecting materials by punching the shit out of these purple rocks. And these rocks can be used for upgrades, modifiers, and even traversal items like the spear. Be sure to dash into the red rocks because bouncing on top of them will refill your dash and give you more air jumps. Hitting orange rocks does exactly what red cubes do, but it has the bonus of healing you while boosting you forward. A little tip, if you can chain orange rocks together, you can get crazy momentum and go incredibly fast. You'll need to be cautious of several obstacles that try and stop you, such as Vine, which throughout the game follows you and getting hit by it damages you, but with the right timing, hitting it will launch yourself forward. Void blocks, which if you get hit by them, you will be damaged, so you need to evade them at all costs. Chaser, which works similar to the void blocks, but it chases you down, with the upside being it recharges your air jumps and dashes if you hit it at the cost of 10 damage. Catchers, which are these giant blue nests that you'll need to absorb to actually get through. Homing Star, which works similar to the Vine, with the challenge being that it will chase you down and you'll need to hit it multiple times to absorb it. And lastly, Void Pillars, which do exactly what Void Blocks do, but long. The modifiers are pretty fun as they can really enhance gameplay feel, the same way I get more happy the more Funko Pops I collect. Oh boy, virginity! The more you progress, the harder the game gets, so be sure to stay focused, especially when the obstacles get more and more rampant throughout your game. And if you feel like trying something different, you can always play Free Fly mode, which is simply just flying through the void without the actual risk of falling out of the tunnels. My only gripe is that it's not very challenging the more you play, it's just kind of go fast and try not to get hit by things. I hope in the future, the longer you play Free Fly, you have to actually deal with all the other obstacles that they didn't add to Free Fly, but in like larger waves. Like if I'm going so fast, I get far enough to where I have to deal with like 7 homing stars chasing me all at once. Just something to make Free Fly more worth it and to keep me on my tippy toes. This game is is pretty early in development, to be fair. It doesn't have a lot yet, especially not even save files as of writing this, but if I were you, I would really give this game some support, because what it has already, it's incredibly fun with what you can do, and it gets very difficult.
So far, you've recommended a multiplayer procedurally generated platformer roguelike, and an employee management simulator with monsters, and a fast-paced exploration escape game. Though I actually have a recommendation! But I'm gonna need you to bear with me when I describe this to you, and I know you'll probably puke when I do. So stick with me. Have you ever wanted to play a Battlegrounds game that was also a part hero shooter, part Splatoon? Oh my god!
Project Remix is one of the most underrated fighting games I've played in a long time. For a Battlegrounds game, it's not only beautiful in its UI design, but it's also innovative as hell in its gameplay style. Unlike most other Battlegrounds games, you don't pick out the character, you are the character. You can give yourself an entirely customizable loadout to fit your playstyle, with so many to choose from. For all the default weapons, you have your fists, ninja whip, linked sword, 8-bit blaster, slingshot, super ball, Tommy gun, paintball gun, staff of life, and stellar tune, and that's only the default weapons. You know, me personally, I prefer to fight with the giant ass key, but I can work with a linked sword. It's not too big of a deal. There's a whole shop containing more weapons for you to choose from to change how your playstyle even works. Alongside your weapons, you can pick out remixes, which are essentially your final smash meter or your ultimate from Marvel Rivals. You have remixes like Teddy Trap, Exponential Rockets, Bubble Barrier, Subspace Minefield, Crimson Katana, and many, many more. I mean, like, so many, Jesus Christ. And for abilities, you have a wide variety of them. You have movement, verticality, healing, damage, defense, utility, and altered abilities that are active throughout your match and can help you with gameplay versatility. And perks, which are passive abilities that allow you to have small little gameplay changes that can help you in battle. Me personally, I like having 25 extra health, it's very useful. In total, the game has 5 classes of weapons to pick from, 74 different types of abilities to try, and 17 perks to equip. Lastly, I find it awesome how this game even comes with weapon skins for every weapon, but it's cool how they really make you work for it, as this game has 0 microtransactions. Well, I mean, I was just ready to give you my money, but fuck me, I guess. The main weapons I use, being the Equinox Blades, all have skins costing 100,000 ticks, which can be obtained by playing the game normally, but my broke ass still struggles to get these skins, especially with the legendary skins, which cost Rebucks, and to get Rebucks, you're only able to get it in 3 ways. Be commended by a player at the end of a round, completing quests, and participating in community events. With doing all of that, you're able to get enough Rebucks to afford the legendary skins. All of these being customizable really helps with making your playstyle feel just right for you, and you alone. Something I find really cool that I don't see many other Roblox games do, other than like fighting in a way, is have a dynamic of 2 hosts talk back and forth with each other, kind of like a Squid Sisters from Splatoon dynamic. It's a really cool feature that I've seen that they didn't need to do, but I really appreciate it nonetheless. The game modes are also really fun. You have 3 game modes such as Deathmatch, King of the Hill, and Objective Escort, with deeper sub-game modes to boot. I could go so into detail on this game alone, but it's best if you go and give this game a shot. And what I find crazy is how despite feeling this polished and content heavy, it's still in beta, so be sure to look out for what's in store when the game finishes. Listen, Zagnar, all these games are interesting and all, but are you sure you don't have like some game to actually recommend me? Like a really snazzy one? I'm trying to find something here to talk about.
Don't worry, brah. I got just the game, and I'm sure you'll love this one.
Zagnar, what the fuck is this?
Oh, well, you're old, so I assumed you'd like it, but if you want to play a different game, we can. It's not like we don't have no more time!
What the fuck does that mean, Zagnar? No More Time is a maze runner, kinda like Speedrun 4 or Death Run, just a bit cooler. This game's incredibly fast, and you have to be precise to pull off some of these moves, especially if platform runners aren't your strong suit. Not saying it won't be fun, but you'll be dying a lot like me. For every round, you're given 2 minutes on the clock to get to the end of the level while the map glitches behind you, and standing in the glitch zone damages you if you haven't caught up, but within that zone you move much faster to give you a chance at escaping it before you get knocked down. Getting knocked down isn't always the end though, because the game requires teamwork for everyone to get to the end, so you're able to get picked up by other players, which will help you recover over time. If you do die though, you do become a ghost that can make it to the end, you'll just receive less money once you make it to the end. The characters are also incredibly fun, all being separated into 3 classes: Pathfinders, Survivalists, and Supports. For Survivalists, you got the noob who has longer invincibility when damage is received and can heal himself, Cole who can only really function with his coffee in the morning. No, seriously, this guy literally can only use his passive ability if he actually drinks his coffee, which actually allows him to self-heal, and he uses 50% less stamina while under the effects of the coffee. And Meowster, who has 9 lives, and for each time they take damage, they gain temporary invincibility with a massive temporary speed boost, with their active ability allowing them to sacrifice 1 life in exchange for the massive speed boost and invincibility. For Pathfinders, you have Swift, who has twice as much stamina, an extra 4 base speed, and can dash forward. Tori, a ninja that's a bit slower than the others but can progressively gain speed for every 2 jumps and will reset when hit. Alongside that, he has a double jump which can be incredibly useful in dire situations. And Cassie, who has 75 more max HP and has a dash that tackles forward with her charge ability. And for support, you have Bacon, a supportive role that when people eat his bacon hair, they gain 1 hit shield and can heal as well if people eat the bacon. Angel, who has one of the best supports for her passive ability to periodically heal 3 nearby survivors for 2 HP per second, and she receives 1 HP every second she's healing at least 1 person. And her active ability teleports the farthest behind survivor to them and potentially carry them if they happen to be knocked down. And at last but not least, Sir Patrick, who's able to carry 5 people at once, and when his ability is activated, he takes 50 less damage for a brief moment. There are more characters, but these were the 9 that I unlocked and really wanted to talk about. The game's maps ain't something to joke about either. When I said this game was a maze, I wasn't kidding. Not every map, but there's a handful of maps that really test your reaction time, such as giant pits into lava that you need the reaction time to not jump into, or splitting pathways you really need to lock in on if you want to make it to the end without getting knocked down or dying. The stages are fun, and I like how they introduce events throughout the stages as well, like everybody being Mr. Bling Bling, or an escort mission. Other events I didn't get on camera because I'm a fat chud. This game is awesome and genuinely just really fun. I suggest you guys go give it a shot. Now, I know I already listed 5 games, but there's one more I must share with you.
To this car, car kicks ass, and I can one medic. Can't go on driving. Those animals are suffocating, but only make me wanna burn without looking.
This game is the dumbest, most nonsensical entry to the Battlegrounds genre I have ever seen. And I fucking love it. Family Man Battlegrounds, developed by Wario Smasher, is something. It's a game. It's really fucking ugly, and I love that about it so much, man. I can't get over it. You have 4 ranks of characters, each you unlock via the amount of kills you get. You got 4 characters like Pete, Louse, Chris, Brian, who I'm gonna be honest is literally the meta to tier 1 as he's literally just Toto from Jujutsu Kaisen, Stewie, Cleveland, Dr. Mario, Quagtire, Ernie, Richard Cheney, Joel, and Demise. The combat is incredibly simple for a Battlegrounds game, because you don't have an ultimate meter or a special alt that you press with a different keybind, or like a dash attack at that point, not even a block. You literally just have 3 moves and that's it. But somehow this game has genuine tech, with literally only 3 moves for every character. Like, I'm dead serious. I main Quagmire, and I pull off some crazy shit with Quagmire alone. I'm like a psychopath like Manny Heffley. For a game so stupidly entertaining, it manages to have something worth working for other than unlocking later characters. Skins! Yes, my child. Skins. You can also become Soul Griffin Guy, my chudling. Or Obama, if that tickles your fancy. I'm being serious when I say this. This is a game I unironically play when I'm bored. Like, when I have nothing to do and I just don't want to do anything, I get on this game and I unironically play this for way longer than I actually should be. And it doesn't even have a lot of substance. It's a tonal shift from every other Battlegrounds game for how little it has. Yet that's what I find so entertaining about it. And I'm not dissing on Battlegrounds games either. I love Battlegrounds games. Jujutsu Shenanigans is my favorite Battlegrounds game out of like all of them. I just find it so funny that a game like this, with what so little it has, entertains me for so long.
It's a wonderful day for pie.
There was also that one time I got ganged up by a bunch of Bryans while on stream. I don't know how this happened. Is it all Bryans? It's a server full of Bryans and they're after me. Dude, oh my god, it's insane. What the hell? There were like 4 Bryans. Why? With all these games finally discussed, I do feel a tad exhausted. How about we take some time and relax with a little bit of Nubby's Number Factory, bitch! Yeah! These games I don't expect you to like if they're not your style, of course. These are just my personal recommendations as to what I believe are games that not only are not talked about enough, but I believe deserve levels of fandom recognition where people will make the most awesome fan art and have like makeshift merch of their characters. I highly recommend you guys give these developers your support. While not being full reviews, if these are received well, maybe one day I might go back to some of these games and make full reviews of them. Anyways, Zagnar, you got any other games to show me?
Well, there is one more thing.
Beep, boop, 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 beep. Boop, boop, beep, beep, beep. Boop, boop, beep, beep, boop. Beep, beep, beep.
Zagnar, this is the best game you've ever shown me.